Hi, welcome to the Keep It G Show. I'm Jamel, also known as G. Welcome to my first episode, and this show is all about real, raw information, just transparency, learning subjects, just little nuggets that we can take away and learn something from and do some self reflecting. So today's topic is going to be about the 5 steps to a healthy relationship. So that's what we'll be talking about today, and get ready to take notes. Came from the bottom, now it's time to blow up. Yeah, it's time to turn up. Yeah, we about to blow up. We keep it G, we keep it fly. Yeah. No lie, ain't no front. So today's episode is about relationships, and I felt like today I would talk about that because I just seen a lot of people are going through divorce. Some couples are just not happy. People are wondering how did they get in this type of situation, and I just felt like it's something that we need to discuss and talk about amongst ourselves. And if we have some knowledge or wisdom on how to have a healthy relationship, I think it will help all of us going forward when we're looking to get in love or become one with someone or get in a relationship or think about marriage, that we know these steps. So I think it's important, especially with the divorce rate in America being 50%, which is 1 out of 2 people end up in divorce. And some people are just staying single longer for whatever reason. But I think a lot of the fear and uncertainty with relationships or someone wanting to get hurt or not sure if they want to settle down is just because most people just are winging it. So I think it's important that we have some type of foundational steps to go by that are research proven that will pretty much help us enable us to ensure to have a healthy relationship. So that's why we decided to talk about it today. I think it's very important that we have that information, and that this is for people who those who are tuning in. It's more for those who are really looking to get into a relationship. They want a relationship, not just a cut buddy, not a friend with benefits, just a real relationship, something healthy. So that's what this message is. This message is for those people, and this is what it's about. And I just think it's very important. So we're going to start with step number 1, which is introduction. Yeah, yeah. Did you guys know that there was 5 steps to a relationship? That is having a quality, successful relationship. Now, most of you probably don't do the steps, never heard of them, never thought about them. But after today, maybe you will kind of think on that and kind of learn some wisdom as it comes to getting into relationships and starting to know people. And no, I do not have the right answers because I sometimes skip the steps as well. But this is just some knowledge and information for us to all take with us and use wisdom going forth. So there's 5 steps to a relationship, a healthy relationship. So the first step is introduction, which is common sense. We all have to meet the person in order to get past the first step. And sometimes the introduction doesn't go any further than an introduction. And I can give you an example. Hey, shawty, what to do, shawty, with thick, thick, thick thighs? If a dude comes up to me and says that, most likely we will not get past introduction just because of the way he came off. But let's say the introduction was not in that aspect. It was more, hello, how are you? And just whatever type of talk. And you decide to give me information. That's introduction. That's the first step. So you can get past it or you can't. But if you choose to go through the introduction and go to the next step would be the acquaintance stage. An acquaintance stage is where you just get to know the person. This is where you do the little background information, where you might Google the person. Yes, and you need to do your background because nowadays people put on a lot of facades. They do a lot of fronting, especially in Atlanta. I can't speak for most other places, but it's a lot of people putting on fronts and trying to be someone they're not. So when you meet people in Atlanta or anywhere, I've just advised you during the acquaintance stage, if you get past introduction and you decide that you want to give that person your contact information and stay in touch with that person once you meet them, the acquaintance stage is the background stage. It's where you kind of really get to know a little bit about the person that you just met. Is this person who they say they are? So sometimes you can Google that person's name. Sometimes you can ask someone if they say, oh, I went to North Carolina State. Oh, you might know someone that went to North Carolina State. So you call them up and say, oh, do you know so-and-so? They went to school around the time you were there. That's kind of getting some referrals, information, or if they say they worked at a certain place and you may know someone who worked there, you might call them up and say, oh, I met someone that worked with you. Trust me, you need to do that. And these days and times, always do your background information because you just never know who you may be dealing with. And yes, you want to, take people for face value, but I'm sorry to say it. but people do lie and they put on facades. So the second step, like I said, is acquaintanceship. This is during the time where you just kind of feeling the person out, having conversations, doing your little background research on the person, seeing if they are who they say they really are, just kind of finding out a little bit about their goals and a little bit about their, beliefs and things they like to do. You're just trying to pretty much get a gauge on, do y'all have anything in common? What are our common interests? Do we have common interests or not? This is what is going on in the acquaintance stage. You may just kind of observe them and see if y'all go out on a date, how they may treat other people, how they tip, whether or not how they, treat their friends or family. You can just observe and do a lot of those things during acquaintanceship stage, which will either tell you, I could see myself, being a friend with this person or going further, or I don't like the way they move. This person might be a liar. Because once you start doing backgrounds, you might find out, oh, okay, this is not what they told me. Or you might just kind of see some ways about them that just kind of not the same with you. So this sometimes acquaintance stage is as far as you get. You may not even go past that. They may just become an acquaintance and you just keep it at that. Or you may during that stage see, we got a lot in common. I like this and that. Things are starting to look like this could be a really good person, a good, So that usually acquaintanceship stage normally transition into friendship. And research studies shows that normally acquaintanceship stage is about 1,000 hours of communicating. Yes, I said 1,000 hours. That's based off research. So not texting, but actual conversations face to face, over the phone. During that acquaintanceship stage, you should get at least that much communication in to really kind of gauge, where this person may be the type of person that you could see yourself, becoming a good friend with or moving into a relationship with. So from the acquaintanceship stage, you transition into the friendship stage, and the friendship stage is a friend, like what you really would consider a friend. Like y'all become friends, like common interests. You kind of look out for each other. You become trustworthy with the person. You become trusting. All the qualities of a good friend. And sometimes we label friendship and we say that's my friend, but it's really not your friend because they really wouldn't be there for you if you needed them, or if things don't go a certain way, they won't be your friend. So the friendship stage just blossoms naturally, and it should really turn into a real friend. This should be your friend, like friend. You can call on them. You can be yourself around them. You can show them your flaws. You can show them your weaknesses. You can tell them things about yourself and expect for them to still respect you and like you. Just be truthful, honest, and transparent. That's the friendship stage. You can just really be yourself, feel comfortable around them, feel like you can look out for the person, they'll look out for you. You can trust them. They're not going to do you wrong. That's where you transition into the friendship stage. And from the friendship stage, that eventually will lead into the fourth stage, which is intimacy. And no, intimacy is not sex. I haven't mentioned sex or none of that yet. But intimacy is more where the friendship blossoms into a really deep, intimate, where you kind of feel like y'all can look at each other and kind of be on the same page. You can look at that person and say, what's wrong? Something's bothering you, because you became intimate. You know how when it's like when you're around your family or a person you've known for years, they can kind of, or a really, really close friend, they can just, what's wrong? They can just look at you and say, what's wrong? Or you just have that feeling around a person when you're with your family that you just feel like I'm at home, or I just feel safe and I feel loved. That's intimacy. Not sexually, but just more of a feeling of belonging. Like, wow, you could just be in the same room with this person, and be in the presence of them, and y'all just feel like you belong, like you're comfortable, you're at ease, you feel loved. That's the intimacy stage. And from the intimacy stage, that's where it pretty much turns into commitment, a full-blown relationship. So I might have didn't delve a lot on the relationship stages, but most people skip all of those and go from introduction all the way to physical intimacy and skip all the in between. And a lot of us are probably guilty of that. Nowadays, most people meet, they change numbers, they might text a couple times, look at each other on Instagram, DM a couple times, and then they're Netflixing and chilling. Next thing you know, they call it a relationship, and they skip all of the acquaintance stage. They didn't try to find out about the person, do any research about the person, and really try to find out the person is who they really say they are. They didn't even see if the person was a real friend. Like, could this person, do they have qualities to be a real friend? Are they trustworthy? Do they lie? Do they treat their people a certain way? I mean, that's how you find out. Most of us don't. We just don't take the time to do that. And we skip all of those stages, and then we wonder why when we're in this relationship, after we skip so many stages, how did we get in it? Why did it come out to be a mess? Why did the person play us? Why did we get used? Because we skipped a lot of those steps. We didn't take the time to really do our homework and let it blossom into a real friendship. I bet you a lot of y'all can name couples that aren't even friends, but they're calling themselves, oh, this is my man, my woman, and they're not even friends. Like real friends. I'm talking about friends, where no matter what, they're going to, love the person, accept the person's flaws, they'll be there for friendship. So take some time and really think about these steps that I named and kind of look back on your past relationships or your current relationship and say, did I go through those steps? Or did we skip and rush a lot of things? Do we really have true intimacy? Do we really have true friendship? Did it blossom? Like, do we have a commitment? Like, where are we at with this? So I just wanted to talk about that today. The 5 steps to a relationship. I hope you learned something. I hope people kind of take the time to really do some homework and some self-reflection on their past relationships and say, maybe that's why I went this way. And a lot of people probably don't know this, but most relationships and marriages are based off of the physical, based off that passion. Passion and intimacy are not the same. Passion is more like the lust. Like, a lot of people get caught up in the passion. They may sleep with someone and be like, oh my God, this was like, and it's the passion behind it. But there's no intimacy. Intimacy is what, like I said, that belonging, that bond, that family type feel, like, that real friendship type feel. And that's why most of the marriages the divorce rate in America is 50%. Like almost 1 out of 2, every marriage fails. And that's mostly why, because people get caught up in passion and not intimacy and friendship. So, hope you learned something today. I hope you guys will tune in for my next episode. I don't know what I'll talk about, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't talk too fast. But thank you for tuning in to Keep It G Show. And I'll let you guys know when it'll probably be the week after next when we'll do our next episode. Tell me what you want to hear, you guys. Leave me some comments, give me some feedback, and tell me what do you want to talk about. And I don't mind going personal, okay? Have a great one. It's a keep it G show. Yeah. It's a keep it G show. Yeah. It's a keep it G. Keep it G. Yeah.